time to choose our hero and villain of the week. Ros, who's been your hero and who's been your villain this week then?
Well, my hero or heroes are UK bees and wasps. And bear with me because I know
Yeah,
Zoe is not the biggest fan of
it's a
wasps.
really tough sell for wasps, I think.
But there is unfortunately an alien predator moving into the country from, I'm sorry to say, Europe. The Asian hornet, which is
Coming over here and stealing our hives.
well, yeah, it's coming over. It's starting to build nests in various counties in the south of England, and it does terrible things to bees and wasps. There's a terrifying video on the BBC website which shows an Asian hornet literally tearing apart a wasp, and you have to feel some compassion for the wasp because it had no chance. And in places where the Asian hornet has moved in, it is really it does terrible things to bees, and we need bees and wasps, and yes, so my hero is those bees and wasps. Fight back is what I say against this predator.
So is the Asian hornet the villain, or have you got an extra villain too?
Oh, I've got an extra villain. I'm really down on Michael Gove this week. Really down
Okay.
on Michael Gove. I'm usually down on Michael Gove. Don't like him, but particularly this week. The fact, the fact that he abandoned the school rebuilding program in 2010, massively bad judgment. It's the fact that he's that great survivor with Michael Gove. It's like repeatedly people bring him back into the fold and praise what a sensible, pragmatic, clever guy he is, and he has really achieved very little as a politician, as a minister. And I really very much hope that when this government is voted out next year, as we can only hope it will be, that Michael Gove goes away and thinks about what he has done and does not write a book exonerating himself and praising his own record in government, because he has no positive record in government.
You've got to put a pound in the Labour government jar now. Don't jinx it. Zoe, your hero and villain.
Okay, so I really struggled for a hero this week because the news was just terrible. But I think our heroes have to be teachers because they are being forced to work under appalling conditions, having consistently been stamped on by this government. So there's never enough supplies in schools. Now the buildings are falling down. They had to wrangle with the education secretary for a reasonable pay rise. And you speak to any teacher and they'll tell you they're overworked, exhausted, and really struggling. So my heart is going out to teachers this week, especially with having to deal with the number of concerned parents that they'll be getting on the first day back of term.
Seems to me when you speak to any teacher as well, it's just they're probably thinking about moving abroad.
Oh,
So
yeah.
many of my mates are just off elsewhere.
Or they quit the scheme. I've had a number of friends who did the Teach First scheme and they quit because they just were driven mad by how appalling the conditions were and how little they were getting paid. So I think we should be making teachers the hero of the week.
Okay.
That's my plight. And then my villain of the week is Gavin Williamson, because he's just a very unpleasant man. So today, a parliamentary inquiry found that he had indeed, as we all knew, bullied Wendy Morton, the former chief whip, in text. So remember, this was what Gavin Williamson was forced to resign over. He complained to Wendy Morton that MPs who were not favoured by the then Prime Minister Liz Truss, were being excluded from the ceremony at Westminster Abbey for the Queen's death. In one text, he told Wendy Morton that there is a price for everything and that excluding MPs was very stupid. Also saying, don't forget, I know how this works, so don't piss me about. He was demanding a ticket to the Queen's funeral. I mean, it's just a sort of level of
Not classy.
entitlement.
Doesn't
Yeah.
Williamson have a tarantula too?
Yes.
Yeah, fuck him.
He has a spreadsheet and a tarantula
Too weird.
and a ticket to the Queen's funeral.
Yeah, it's terrifying there. Right, I've got to pick. I'm going to go teachers there, and I'm going to go Gove for villain, actually, because I think Williamson is an accepted villain.
He's always a
basically,
villain,
whereas
yeah.
Gove, people seem to treat him like he's a bit of a fun time guy, which he shouldn't get treated like.